Welcome to the Business Like a Mother show, where we share real strategy, radical honesty, and the conversations no one else is having. For moms building businesses on their own terms while burning down the patriarchy, one business at a time. Let's jump in. Welcome back to Business Like a Mother. And my question for you today, and what I'm going to marinate on for this short solo episode, is where are you playing small and why? So, a quick backstory here. As some of you know, I first launched this podcast, Business Like a Mother, in late 2024, I think. And then after, 12 episodes, I stopped recording pretty quickly for a variety of reasons, but also because honestly, I wasn't very inspired. I shared in the last episode about how I relied a lot on AI to give me all my ideas and scripts and stuff for my solo episodes because I think I was looking for a shortcut, but that really it wasn't me. It wasn't what I really wanted to say. I was playing it safe. I was creating content that I thought would get more listeners and things that people were Googling, but ultimately it just wasn't working for me. So I am really good also at starting shit. All right. So for my human design folks out there, I am a manifester, which means I am here to start movements. But I also have ADHD and I'm a highly creative individual. So I don't always stick with things, especially if they don't excite me. So I often have a lot of different balls in the air, a lot of different ideas. I like having multiple things I'm excited about going on, which is why for me, like being an entrepreneur and being an actor is a great fit for me. But I can get easily overwhelmed by my ideas, and keeping up with things when I'm not inspired is really, really, really fucking hard. I am also really good at overcomplicating stuff, thinking that it needs to be perfect before I can start. Anybody else out there nodding their heads? And I vacillate between these moments where I'm feeling inspired and really having these creative ideas and like taking messy action and building the plane in the air. And then at a point, though, as I'm growing, I'll hit a level where I start to overthink things. I start to doubt myself. I start to look outside of myself for ideas or positive reinforcement. Or I just start to look at what other people are doing and thinking, oh, that person seems to have the answer. That person seems to have the secret. I need to do that. And so I stop myself. I stop maybe doing what is working, what has been working, thinking I need to change things. And I stop trusting myself. And I'm human. This happens. It is normal to feel this way and experience these things. But I also know that a lot of this behavior comes from my desire to stay safe and avoid being rejected. Now, listen, I have received a lot of rejection in my life. All right. I spent about 15 years on the East Coast between DC and New York City pursuing a musical theater career. If ever there was a career where like rejection was going to be the number one thing you would experience, it would be professional acting. I also did a lot of dating in New York City where there was also a lot of rejection. So believe me when I say that rejection is something that we know each other very well. And I have experienced probably more of it than a lot of you maybe can imagine. Hundreds upon hundreds of auditions. Most of them, you literally get 10 seconds in the room and you never hear anything. Sometimes you get a second audition or a callback, you start to get your hopes up, and then you put in more effort and more work, and then you never hear anything. Sometimes it comes down to like you and one other person. I mean, similar to like, interviewing for jobs and stuff, but like there was a point in which I would be going to 10 to 12 auditions a week and oftentimes, not hearing anything. And then sometimes, yeah, I would book the gig, and I still do some commercial work in the Denver Boulder metro area, and there's a lot of things that I just have to know going into it that I'm submitting for this, and the odds are not in my favor. So I can do the best I can do, and that's it. Now, in hindsight, this rejection and my experience as an actor helped me develop a lot of resilience that has really done a lot for me as a business owner and as a mom. And there is still a real part of me that still fears rejection despite feeling like I've come to terms with a lot of it, there's still a part of me, that inner child, right, that still fears rejection and actively plays smaller to avoid it. Even when I see it happening, even when I know what I'm doing matters, even when people are telling me, we love what you're building, keep doing this. And even when I want to keep growing and increase my income and increase my impact and all the things, I still find myself holding myself back and playing small. Now, I'm curious if this is resonating with anyone. So if you're sitting here like shaking your head, yes, like congratulations, you like me, we're human, we're honest with ourselves, right? Because we have all had moments of this and we're all just on different journeys, in different chapters, right? Okay, so back to this podcast. Now, my original cover art when I first came out with the show was good, right? It was a black background. There was a picture of me in this really cute, bold pink blazer. I really love pink. It's one of my favorite colors. And I had this kind of like a little bit of like a shit-eating grin on my face and a shirt that said mom and more on it. So it was like on brand, on theme, like a little badass, a little bold, strong, but pretty much still like the same vibe from thousands of other covers out there. It was not very different. And then, it said business like a mother. So when I went to roll out the new trailer for this show about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I had to resize the art. So I went into Canva, really just to resize it, not thinking that I was going to change anything, thinking like this cover art's great. I don't need to change anything. Don't create more work for yourself, Jen. But immediately found myself kind of thinking like, is this still right? Like, can this be better? Can I push the boundaries a little bit more? Can it be bolder? Can it be more Renegade? The name of my business, my podcast is Business Like a Mother. The name of my overarching brand is Renegade Motherhood. So I want to make sure that I'm holding myself to that standard, right? So then there was this tale of two little devils on my, on my shoulders, right? So there was the recovering perfectionist little Jen of me that was like, Jen, stop getting in your way. Your current cover is fine. You are avoiding other more important things, like cut it out, resize, export, and get the hell on with things. And then there was the other little Jen on my other shoulder, the recovering, playing small Jen that said, Jen, this cover is safe. It's you trying to be like every other coach and podcast out there. Like, it's time to push the envelope. So I decided to listen to that one. And I also gave myself a time limit of about 30 minutes where I just kind of played around a little bit in Canva. I revisited some photos that I had taken almost 8 years ago, if not longer. My oldest was a baby at the time and she's now 9. So it was about 8 years ago. For a completely different business that I had at the time, actually. But I found this photo that is now the photo that's on the cover. And when I dropped it into a template, I knew that I had it. I knew this was right. So yes, if you look at it, you'll see I have a pacifier in my mouth. No, I don't look happy or like a mom who has all of her shit together. And that is the point. That's the point. Now, my hope is that it catches your attention. The colors are bright and bold. It is something where you kind of, the image sort of catches you because you're like, well, what's she upset about, right? So I hope it kind of catches your attention. I hope it makes you laugh a little because the right person and the right mom is going to see this and be like, okay, I get this, right? And humor is a core value of mine. And another one is authenticity. So yes, Business Like a Mother is here to empower you, but also keep it real. And the reality is that this shit is hard. And there are days where I 100% want a pacifier and a lovey, and I just want to get in bed and snuggle and take a long nap. All right. And it is 2026. And I know that there are a lot of other people out there, moms or not, who feel this deeply. We just want to take a long nap. It has been a lot. There is a lot going on at the moment. Okay. And friend, that is okay. It is okay for that reality to coexist with the ambition and the drive and the goals that we have as a mom in business and the desire we have to create something amazing and also want to take a nap. But this cover art is so much more me. It is really what I want to say in an image. So I am just throwing out the rules and leaning into my authentic voice, my authentic personality. And if people don't like it or it doesn't resonate, that's okay. Because there are so many coaches and brands and communities and memberships and podcasts out there. There is something for literally everybody right now. And I am not here to be for everybody, and neither are you. And I don't have the energy to keep playing small because holding myself back is exhausting. I also don't have the desire to be less to keep others happy anymore. And I know I am not alone in this. I have had hundreds of conversations with members inside Renegade Motherhood and, attendees who come to my mixers, and there is this universal theme that comes up of I am afraid of being too much. I am afraid of alienating people. I am afraid of losing clients. I am afraid of what may happen if I let people see me. And the thing is that women are conditioned in both very obvious ways that I'm sure we could all point to, and also a ton of subconscious ways to stay small, to stay palatable, to not take up too much space. And yet then we're told, like, you're not living up to your full potential, or just let people see you, right? Like, we are damned if we do, we are damned if we don't, right? Because then when we do something bolder, we're told, wow, you are too much. Just tone it down a little bit. Tone it down a little bit, right? It is a vicious cycle. And you know what? I don't have the answer. I'm not here to say I've got it all figured out. This is what we do. I am not going to gaslight you and tell you that this is easy and just be more you, because if it was that simple, there would be no coaches anymore, right? But I will ask you this. Start simply paying attention to moments, maybe just especially in business for now, where you're about to hit post on something and then you go back and you edit the caption for the 10th time. Or maybe you've had this draft in your inbox for weeks that you have just been afraid to send because you're worried that what people might think. Or you have been sitting on this amazing idea for a new offer or a new business, but you're not doing anything with it because you're worried that people won't buy it. Or maybe you really want to get on stage and you really want to start speaking, but like, what on earth will people think about you? Because at some point, maybe you were told, like, you're too loud, you shouldn't be on stage, you shouldn't take up space. Hell, it could have been like an old choir teacher that you had in elementary school who said, hey, stop singing so loud, and you have internalized this. And now you're like, I really want to get up on stage, but I get so nervous every time I think about that. And there could be a real reason for that, because you have been told it is not okay to take up space and let your voice be heard. So start to notice then what the common thread is between these moments. Is it fear of being too much? Is it fear of judgment? Maybe it's a fear of being dismissed. Or maybe it's fear of the unknown, of what could happen if you really did say the thing you wanted to say, launch the offer, pitch the talk, recorded the episode, sent the email, change the cover art. Because we may be keeping ourselves smaller out of fear, for sure. But on the other side of that, there is also fear of what happens when we start to play bigger. Can we handle the success? Will our family suffer? Will we be able to maintain it? What happens if it goes away? And on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Now, I know none of this is probably new, right? A lot of people have talked about this kind of stuff. I just want to share it through the lens of what I've been walking and experiencing just in the last couple weeks even. And that's just like tip of the iceberg. But here's the thing that I think makes a difference. It is really being in community with people who allow us to be ourselves and who in fact challenge us to be our most authentic selves and call us out on our bullshit when we're not, when we are starting to like play small and play safe, and celebrate us when we step into our epic, beautiful magic. When we are in these types of spaces, it can be an absolute catalyst for your personal growth and create a powerful ripple effect. Because what I have seen over the last few years within Renegade Motherhood is that every time someone in my community steps out of their comfort zone and into their true, authentic self, everyone notices and feels more encouraged to do it themselves. And it is really epic and fucking amazing to witness. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And of course, if this got you thinking, please leave me a 5-star review and then share it with a fellow renegade who needs to hear this. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode.